Good day everyone, my name is Sarah Gomez and today I'm going to present the diversity and the status of women in India, the Indian experience. Ruchira Gaganli's Gray's work explores the complexities of women's experience in India, challenging the notion of a universal female subordination. It highlights the diversity among Indian women, influenced by factors like class, caste, religion, and region. While some women, particularly from affluent urban backgrounds, have benefited from progress and gained opportunities, the majority face significant challenges, including poverty, illiteracy, and gender-based discrimination. It underscores the contradiction inherent in Indian society, where women are simultaneously revered and oppressed. Despite legal frameworks aimed at improving women's status, the impact of these laws has been limited due to various socio-cultural factors. And lastly, it emphasizes the need to recognize and address the diverse realities of Indian women to achieve true gender equality. Male and female sex ratio. In India, the sex ratio is skewed heavily towards males, with fewer females per 100 males compared to the global trend. This imbalance is particularly alarming given the biological advantage of female fetuses and higher female life expectancy. Factors like higher infant mortality rates for girls and discriminatory practices contribute to this skewed sex ratio. While there was a slight increase in the female sex ratio in the 1970s, it is attributed to improved data collection methods rather than a significant improvement in women's status. Literacy. While female literacy rates in India have increased significantly, significant disparities remain between men and women, as well as between urban and rural areas. Rural women, in particular, face lower literacy rates due to factors such as domestic responsibilities and societal attitudes that prioritize boys' education. Although there is a more positive attitude towards girls' education among the urban middle and upper classes, the overall number of women pursuing higher education remains relatively low. Labor force participation. While the official labor force participation rate per woman in India is low, this underrepresents the significant contributions women make to the economy. Many women are engaged in unpaid domestic work and informal sector activities that are not captured in official statistics. The lack of employment opportunities, particularly in rural areas, further limits women's participation in the formal labor market. Cultural expectations and societal norms also play a significant role in shaping women's labor force participation, often restricting them to domestic roles and discouraging them from seeking employment outside the home. Cultural constructions of gender and sexuality. Cultural constructions of gender and sexuality. Cultural constructions of dominant Brahmanical versus self-altering folk traditions. It delves into complex interplay between dominant Brahmanical and self-altering folk traditions in India. While both traditions recognize the concept of Shakti, or female divine power, the Brahmanical traditions often portrays women in passive roles, while the self-altering traditions celebrate their assertive and life-giving nature. It also explores the impact of caste on gender relations, highlighting how caste-based discrimination and purity concerns have historically restricted women's freedom and autonomy, particularly among upper-caste women. Despite the progress made by the women's movement, challenges such as violence against women rooted in caste and class inequalities persist, particularly for women from lower-caste and marginalized backgrounds. Activities of the women's movement. The Indian women's movement has been a powerful force in challenging women's subordination, despite the deep-rooted patriarchal structures and socioeconomic inequalities. The movement has focused on legal reforms, economic empowerment, and addressing issues like violence against women. However, the movement's impact has been uneven, with significant challenges posed by caste and class division. While middle-class women have played important roles, the struggles of working-class, peasant, and tribal women have been central to the movement's agenda. By highlighting the complex interplay of gender, class, and caste, the women's movement has sought to create a more equitable society for all women in India. Chipko movement. It emerged in the 1970s as a response to the increasing threats to the environment and livelihoods of rural communities, particularly women, as deforestation and large-scale development projects encroached on their lands and resources. Women, who were often responsible for gathering fuel woods and water, faced significant hardships. The Chipko movement, with its iconic image of women embracing trees to protect them from logging, became a powerful symbol of women's resistance and environmental activism. It's not only highlighted the critical role of women in environmental conservation, but also challenged traditional gender roles and power dynamics within rural communities. Self-Employed Women's Association, or SEWA. It emerged in India as a unique trade union for women working in the informal sector, initially facing challenges in gaining recognition. SEWA successfully advocated for the rights and welfare of its members. By combining the strategies of a trade union and cooperatives, SEWA has empowered women through initiatives like securing credit and influencing national policies. The organization's growth and impact have significantly contributed to the women's movement in India. Anti-rape campaign. The Mathura rape case in the 1970s sparked a significant movement against sexual violence in India. Public outrage over the acquittal of the accused police officers led to widespread protests and demand for legal reforms. Feminist organizations and activists played a crucial role in raising awareness about the issue, challenging patriarchal attitude and advocating for stricter laws. While the legal changes were limited, the movement succeeded in breaking silence surrounding rape and empowering women to speak out against the sexual violence. Anti-rape campaign. The Mathura rape case in the 1970s sparked a significant movement against sexual violence in India. Public outrage over the acquittal of the accused police officers led to widespread protests and demand for legal reforms. Feminist organizations and activists played a crucial role in raising awareness about the issue, challenging patriarchal attitude and advocating for stricter laws. While the legal changes were limited, the movement succeeded in breaking silence surrounding rape and empowering women to speak out against the sexual violence. Communalization of gender identity. The 1980s witnessed a shift in the Indian women's movement, marked by the rise of identity politics and religious fundamentalism. The communalization of gender identity became evident, with women's roles being used to construct and reinforce communal identities. The Shah Banu case and the Roof Khan War incident exemplify how religious and cultural factors can intersect with gender issues, leading to complex and often contradictory outcomes. While the women's movement has made significant strides, the challenges posed by communalism and the interplay of caste, class, and religion continue to shape the experience of women in India. Communalism and feminist scholarship. The rise of communalism in India has significantly impacted the women's movement. Feminist scholarship has highlighted the complex interplay of caste, class, and religion in shaping women's experience. While early feminist discourses often overlooked these factors, Contemporary feminist movements are increasingly recognizing the need to address this issue. The appropriation of Hindu goddess imagery as a symbol of female empowerment has been both empowering and problematic, as it can alienate women from minority communities. The challenge for the women's movement is to navigate these complexities and develop inclusive strategies that address the diverse needs and concerns of women from different backgrounds. Towards the future, the women's movement in India has aimed to bridge the gap between formal political equality and the meaningful exercise of power. Economic empowerment and political participation are key areas of focus. Recent economic liberalization and constitutional amendments regarding women's quotas in local self-government have the potential to significantly impact women's lives in the 21st century. Panchayati Raj and the 73rd Constitutional Amendment. The reservation of one-third of seats for women in local self-governing bodies in India. While this has increased women's representations, challenges such as traditional gender roles and limited access to resources hinder their effective participation. The amendment aims to empower women and ensure their involvement in decision-making processes at the local level. Economic liberalization and global integration. India's economic liberalization in the 1990s has had mixed impacts on women. While it has opened up new opportunities for some, it has also exacerbated existing inequalities and marginalized many women, particularly those in the informal sector. The integration of women into the global economy has often come at the cost of job security and fair labor practices. Conclusion. The future of the women's movement in India is fraught with challenges. The diversity of women's experience, shaped by factors such as caste, class, and religion, can hinder the formation of unified alliances. The tension between celebrating cultural traditions and embracing a more secular, cosmopolitan perspective further complicates the issue. While recognizing diversity is crucial, it is equally important to find common ground and build bridges between different groups of women. The women's movement must navigate these complexities and develop strategies that address the diverse needs and concerns of women from all backgrounds. Notes. In India, sex ratio is usually expressed as a number per 1,000 people. However, to make it easier to compare with other countries where sex ratio is expressed per 100 people, the note suggests converting the Indian figures to the 100 base ratio. This way, readers can easily understand and compare the sex ratio data across different countries. And that's the end of my presentation. Thank you for watching.